Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a C-suite exec or a customer service leader, and you're feeling that immense crushing pressure of rising contact volumes combined with the relentless demand for better customer experiences, well, you're absolutely in the right place today. We're going to look really closely at some groundbreaking insights from Boston Consulting Group's 2025 executive perspective. So let's just dive right in and figure out how to find real, tangible value in this next big wave of AI. Right off the bat, we need to ask the incredibly uncomfortable question that literally every business strategist and tech leader is sweating over right now. Is your AI actually saving you money? Because right now, there's a massive, undeniable disconnect happening across the entire industry. Check this out. The data shows us that a staggering 90%, 9 out of 10 organizations, are currently piloting or scaling generative AI in their customer service channels. That means almost everyone is just throwing money, time, and resources at this tech, completely expecting it to be this magic silver bullet for operational efficiency. But here's the jarring contrast. Actually, scratch that. It's more of a wake-up call. 72% of surveyed companies report absolutely no measurable impact on their P&L yet. Just let that sink in for a second. Nearly 3/4 of companies are building, testing, and deploying Gen AI, but when they actually look at their bottom line, the needle hasn't even twitched. The big, measurable wins simply have not materialized. So we're standing at the edge of this immense potential, but there's this huge gap between pilot projects and realized value. And to bridge that gap, it's going to require a fundamental shift in how we view and deploy the technology. We've got to move way past these passive tools and literally rethink the entire architecture of customer service itself. Which brings us to the technology pivot. Enter Agentic AI. We're finally transitioning away from the disappointment of current passive Gen AI tools and looking at the transformative potential of autonomous problem solvers. Let's quickly demystify this buzzword so we're all completely on the same page. Agentic AI is AI that actively performs tasks on behalf of humans. It doesn't just sit there waiting for a prompt. It autonomously achieves outcomes by independently observing, planning, and acting. Basically, it shifts AI from being a passive assistant to a highly active participant in your workforce. Think about how these agents function for a second. It's remarkably similar to human cognition. First, they observe. They gather information from the environment, past interactions, APIs, the whole shebang. Second, they plan. They analyze that info and evaluate possible actions based on reasoning and predefined goals. And third, they act. They actually execute the tasks, whether that's using digital tools, coordinating with other AI agents, or prompting a human when they really need intervention. The contrast between these two approaches is literally night and day. Traditional Gen AI, it's reactive. It summarizes calls, generates content, relies on siloed data. It's essentially just a really smart calculator waiting for you to hit equals. But Agentic AI is proactive. It takes a holistic assessment of your systems, anticipates issues before the customer even complains, and drives autonomous end-to-end resolution. And look, this isn't just theoretical. As one customer service industry expert from the front lines put it perfectly, autonomous agents already transform the game by reasoning, planning, and acting across tools. This is happening right now, folks. The organizations that recognize this pivot are the ones positioning themselves to finally capture that elusive ROI. All right, let's move on and talk about the massive untapped value waiting for us here. So what exactly is the prize for the pioneers who successfully navigate this transition? Well, the business case is pretty undeniable. The lion's share of this value, we're talking over 60%, lies in heavy efficiency and productivity gains. But it absolutely doesn't stop at cost cutting. You're also looking at significant uplifts in customer experience, net promoter scores, and customer lifetime value. You're simultaneously reducing the cost to serve while delivering a noticeably better product. Let's ground these abstract statistics in a concrete real-world scenario, though. Moving from the concept of value to autonomous resolution in action is what really shows us what the future of customer service looks like. This brilliantly illustrates the true power of agentic AI. Picture an airline. Step 1, the AI agent independently retrieves a weather alert. Step 2, it identifies that a specific passenger's flight is definitely going to be grounded. Step 3, and this is the magic part, without any human prompting whatsoever, it autonomously rebooks the flight for the next morning and secures a hotel room at the airport based on the customer's known preferences. Finally, Step 4, it calls the passenger to inform them of the update. The AI just solved an end-to-end process autonomously before the customer even knew they had a problem. How cool is that?
So why are implementations actually failing?
Because that airline example sounds like magic, right? But if this futuristic experience is possible today, why isn't it the norm everywhere? Well, the roadblocks are surprisingly human. The real barriers are organizational, not just technological. We're dealing with poor technology integration, a severe lack of focused strategy from leadership, and completely ignoring change management. You can go out and buy the smartest AI in the world, but if your organizational foundation is cracked, it's going to fail, for sure. Take the technology ecosystem, for example. It is becoming incredibly complex. 89% of leaders report that they're stuck simply because they have to manage multiple system integrators just to ensure end-to-end delivery. The whole promise of plug-and-play AI? Yeah, that's largely a myth right now. You need a unified orchestration layer to make different platforms and agents talk to each other reliably at scale.
But here is the great irony of artificial intelligence. 98% of surveyed customer service leaders say that robust human change management is the absolute critical key to unlocking Gen AI's value. 98%. To get the most out of machines, you literally have to hyper-focus on your people. You need to upskill them, rethink their KPIs, and evolve their roles from being just standard reps to actual agent supervisors.
Okay, let's talk about the blueprint for AI success.
We know the immense value is there, and we know exactly where companies are tripping up. So here is your actionable path forward, a 5-step recovery blueprint so you don't end up in that 72% of companies seeing zero ROI. First, acknowledge the gaps and hit reset on your focus towards actual business value. Second, set a revised strategy. Third, relaunch with cross-functional teams. You gotta break down those silos between business and tech. Fourth, and this is absolutely vital, redesign before automating. Please do not just speed up a broken process. And fifth, enable your people. Upskill your workforce so they can actually manage this new AI-driven reality, because ultimately the goal isn't to replace your workforce with a black box of code. That's not it at all. The goal is a harmonious, target operating model where AI agents and human experts team up. You want an omni-channel frontline run by AI for all that routine autonomy, overseen by cross-functional human teams acting as resolution architects and quality assurance leaders. Which leaves us with one final, deeply important question to consider as you go back to your desk today. Are you just automating flawed human processes, or are you reinventing from scratch for a world of unconstrained AI resources? If you really want to unlock the true P&L impact of agentic AI, you have to be willing to redesign the way work gets done from the ground up. Think big, act deliberately, and start reinventing. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.